Hello. I said I'd do video. I've got a sleep one to do, but I'm having to do them in slow time. I'm still getting over a cold. So anyway, my name's Debbie. If you are here, you know it's because I'm a hypnotherapist and an EFT practitioner. So I thought I would run through the basics of an EFT script, for want of a better term. I have done a recording on the basics of EFT, but I will run through a couple of things. Firstly, this is not instead of seeing your doctor. If you have issues, see your doctor. This is not medical. It is not going to cure all your ills. You have to be quite sensible. I personally use EFT as an added extra, especially when there are things that I can't see the doctor about, or it's a time when you can't get an appointment or whatever. But my point is, I don't want you going into this thinking this is going to solve my whatever. And I think that's very important to understand that I am not medically trained. I am a clinical hypnotherapist, I will say that, but this is not what I'm doing today. I have got other videos on the go, but I'm getting over this cold, so I'm doing them in slow time. So, EFT, emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping, works on the meridian lines that run through our bodies, the same kind of thing as acupuncture and acupressure. It is now scientifically recognised that these energy lines run through our bodies. This is what you use. The tapping solution I've mentioned before, they have a lot of resources on their website. They are fantastic. And Brad Yates has a lot of stuff on his about the sciencey side of it all. So I'm just going to be me and waffle, basically. Right, so what you do is you run through the points. When you first start, some people do the SUD scale, subjective units of distress scale, which is basically 0 to 10. 10 being the worst, 0 being perfect. The good thing about that is it gives you a measure of how you're doing. So you sit and think about what you want to do. In this case, I'm going to do anxiousness. Now, I know that's a very broad topic, and normally you get the best out of EFT if you are very specific. So I would use something like the tapping tree, or just a normal diagram to put anxiousness in the middle. I haven't got a pen, so I can't show you. Well organised. And then do your spurs off of it, or the tapping tree. I believe I've put that. I'll put that in a box again. To write things down and try and pick out some of the stringiness of it, so that you can get to, I'm anxious, but why am I anxious? Is there a particular trigger that I want to work on, or is it, excuse me, sorry, or is it a case of it's a generic, I get anxious, I don't always know why, I don't know what my trigger is. I could be walking down the street and I suddenly get anxious, in which case I would say go for it, try it. Also have a pen and paper by the side of you, because you will be surprised at the stuff that comes up, and you can just jot it down, because if you've got a dreadful memory like I have, you'll forget. Water's a good one to have on side. Oh, I've got my tea, sorry, excuse me. I've still got a really sore throat. Because sometimes, for some reason, I don't really know why, you can get very, very thirsty. Remember to breathe, even if it means writing on your pad, breathe, because I do tend to forget to breathe sometimes. And go for it. Right, so here we go. This is the karate chop point. I will put the link to the picture that does the rounds on the internet, but if not, you can always Google it. It's just the EFT tapping points. This is where you tap when you run through what's called your setup statement, what you want to do. So in this case, I've gone for a fairly generic, even though I feel anxious. I still love and respect myself. Even though I get all these anxious feelings, I still love and respect myself. Even though I suffer with anxiety, I still accept myself and support myself. Right. This one here, right here, where your eyebrow is, right? Now what we do is we run through the negative first. So all this anxiety, side of eye, gosh, I'm so anxious. Under eye, I feel so anxious and I don't know why. Under nose, this anxiousness makes me feel sick. Above chin, when I get anxious I feel like I'm broken. Collarbone, oh, I've got tag sticking out and I can't do it. Collarbone, I feel so anxious I don't know what to do with myself. Underarm, which is just here where the bra line is on a lady, which is about that much down. It happens to me all the time. On top of head, and I go round in a circle because I don't like doing the frontalar area. I feel so anxious, I feel like I'm broken. All these feelings of being broken, all these feelings of being anxious. I feel so anxious. I don't know why I feel so anxious. I want it to go away. Why won't it go away? It makes me feel like I'm different from everybody else. I'm weird because I can't cope. I feel like I'm broken and disjointed. Right, eyebrow, side of eye. I feel like the anxiousness is taking over my life. Under eye. Why do I feel so anxious? Under eye. Under nose. Especially when I don't know why. Above chin. There's no reason for feeling this anxious. So why do I? Collarbone, which is just, see the collar there? Just underneath and across. I feel so anxious, it's ruining my life. Underarm, it's taking everything away. Top of head, I just can't take it. I need to release it. Deep breath. Right, now you're going to go with the positive. I am skimming through this, by the way. We've accepted the negative, we're not sticking with it. Now we can move on. We've accepted it. But what if I was to release this anxiety? Side of eye. What if I was to accept that anxiety is an emotion? Under eye. It's there to keep me safe. It's there to remind me of dangers. Under nose. If I was to accept that it's an emotion and part of me, surely I can get better. Above chin. I can allow myself to relax. Collarbone, while still being vigilant about what is around me. Underarm, I can accept my anxiousness. Top of head. I can accept it doesn't make me a broken person, it just makes me have emotions. Eyebrow. I can live my life without feeling constantly on my guard. Side of eye. I can allow myself to have a bit of anxiousness without it taking over. Under eye. I can tell my brain and my body that it's safe. Under nose. That it's safe to feel like this and to accept the feeling while not letting it take over. I can accept that it's okay to be anxious, that many people are anxious, and that I'm not broken. Collarbone. I can take it as it is, my brain telling me that there's something wrong, but I can accept it and turn it down. And it won't take over my life. Underarm, sorry. It's there for a reason, and I can accept that reason. Top of head. Eyebrow. I can be more relaxed. Side of eye. I can feel less stressed about being anxious. Under eye. I can feel normal. Under nose. I can feel this isn't ruining my life. Above chin. I can just say, yes, I'm a bit anxious. I breathe it out. Collarbone. And all this crushing anxiety can be let go of. And I can relax underarm. And I can accept that this is my brain and my body trying to keep me safe. Eyebrow. And that's the best thing for me, to be kept safe. Side of eye. While not taking over. My logical brain can tell me that it's not necessary. Under eye. My logical brain can say, I accept that I'm anxious for a reason, but I don't need to be anxious. Under nose. So therefore, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to turn it right down. Above chin. I'm going to blow it out. All this anxiousness. Collarbone. I'm going to release it. I'm going to find ways that work for me to release it. And I'm going to be less anxious and less scared. And I'm going to feel much better. Now that's running through things at a much faster rate than you would normally. Like I say, normally you would be more specific. The point is, I'm not doing it for you to necessarily follow because I completely ignored all my notes. But to give you an idea of where to start, for you to write your own scripts, to be able to work through each issue one at a time, write it down, look at your SUD scale at the beginning and the end, go through it, keep going. I would say don't stick on the negative for too long, because you're not buying into the negative, you're merely accepting that this is how you feel and you accept it and there's nothing wrong with it, but then move on. The positive I would probably go through more, because I am so sorry, I've got things coming up on my laptop left, right, centre, and I can't see a thing anymore. Anyway, yeah, this is just a quick one to get you going. If you want another one that's more in depth, if you know, whatever you want, that's fine. I did do a thing on my Facebook page about anxiety and some of the things that I've found are useful. Yeah, you knock yourself out. If you want anything in particular, I can do it. This is very early days for me in recording, and I am no clue why I've got hundreds of boxes all over my screen. And I'm not even sure if you can hear me properly because I'm not sure if the microphone's working. So there you go. Yeah, so be kind, please. I am trying. Yeah, so stop saying stop saying yes. Questions? Feel free. And I have got a sleep one that I have started, but I've lost my pad. I have some stuff to do with the menopause, because as you can see, I am of a certain age, and yeah. I also have some longer, I'm a hypnotherapist, so I have some longer self-hypnosis things that are coming up. I've been out of the loop for a bit because I've had a rotten cold like everybody, so I am working my way through these, so yeah, I apologise. So thank you. Try the tapping. If you don't like my video, find someone else. Nick Altner, Brad Yates, there are hundreds of them. Go through, sorry, give it a go. Okay, one day I will, no, I will sit and do a video as to how I got into typing, how I got into tapping, and why I believe it really, really works. If you want any other resources on the Facebook page, there is a web page coming, but I am a doofus when it comes to these things, and I'm doing it myself, and yeah, anyway. So for now, it's on the various social media platformy things that are around. So yeah, thank you, and thank you for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. If you know, if you think that my ramblings weren't too bad, if you could like it, that would be fantastic. And I hope to do a better one soon. Thank you. Bye bye.